Hello, ladies and gentlefish. Hannabal Marie here. And this video is going to be a long-awaited, lovely Halloween tag. Everybody's getting into the Halloween spirit, and I want to join in on the fun. So, without further delay, there is 13 questions, and I think it's best if we just go right into it with as little chit-chat as we possibly can, because if I know myself, and I like to think I do, I'm gonna be ranting like a madman, so let's get right into it. Question number 1. What is my favorite Halloween song? This one was a bit of a toughie to answer, to be honest. I'm one of those extremely festive kind of persons that like to listen to quite a lot of various different musical tunes. I have a sort of playlist that I like to repeat over and over again, so I'm going to give you a couple of my go-to songs for the season. Number 1 is, of course, This Is Halloween from The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's such an amazing song. It is everybody's go-to feel-good Halloween song. I think if you would really, consider this, people should just go ahead and admit that this song is Halloween's anthem. I have not met a single person who did not agree with This Is Halloween for a Halloween song. So it would pretty much work as the Halloween theme song, really. The second song, since we are on the topic of Danny Elfman, would be Dead Man's Party from Oingo Boingo. I'm a big Oingo Boingo fan, really, and I like to listen to as much Danny Elfman as possible. And this season tends to bring out a lot of Danny Elfman in me. And, so yeah, I had to add him. Another personal favorite from my childhood would be Monster Mash. The cartoon version, that good, lovely, insane tune. I used to listen to that one religiously as a little child, and I still do. I cannot get away from it. I love that song. The next song is Spooky Scary Skeletons. It is actually my decorating song. I listen to this song when I decorate. It makes me feel like such a woman. Crazy, creepy woman. But anywho, I bake with the song. I decorate. I like to scare little kids with the song. I don't even need a song for that to happen, it just happens automatically. But, yeah, it's an amazing song. It's quite bouncy. Any really rendition of that song will do, but I prefer just the original. No dropping the bass, no dubbing the step, just the nice, traditional, vintage, if you will, song. So yeah. The next 2 artists that I also included into this lovely playlist of musical stuff is 2 gentlemen that really don't mention Halloween in their songs and wouldn't really be Halloween related without extreme consideration and thought. But I thought, they sort of embody the time of year. They sort of embody that spooky factor. And I'd be absolutely crazy not to mention these two men. But the first is Screamin' Jay Hawkins with the lovely song, I Put a Spell on You. Any I Put a Spell on You would do. Even the one from Hocus Pocus, sang by Bette Midler. All of those would work. But I would suggest Screamin' Jay Hawkins because he is magic. The way he does it, I love him. He's amazing. He's just, the way he screams, the lyrics, the way he moves, he's amazing. The last gentleman that I also mentioned is one of my close personal obsessions. And he is, of course, Tom Waits. I could not go a video without mentioning him. He's one of the few that is just too good for a description and too good for any explanation, because I could not give him justice at all. So I had to go through quite a bit of music to pick just the one song to embody Halloween. And I think I did a pretty good job with my selection. Of course, if you wanted to, you can by all means go and just pick any other Tom Waits song you want. Because personally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen to his music back to back. That's just a ritual of mine. But the one song for anyone who is not familiar with the man, and I would suggest to give it that spooky atmosphere, would be Swordfish Trombones. I love this dreamlike feeling that I always get when I listen to that song. That song is just, it is black magic and everything dark and demented. It's amazing. I love Swordfish Trombones. That whole album, actually. I mean, there's a billion, bajillion, kazillion other songs that he sings too. Like Black Market Baby, anything off of Blood Money, really, anything with the Orphans. I mean, there is just too much for words. And even a few of his spoken words is just creepy and amazing. But for the sake of keeping you any longer, Swordfish Trombones without a shadow of a doubt. Listen to it. So yes, those are my few songs, and I know it asked for one, but it's my channel and I can do what I want. Number 2. Witch or vampire? I would really like to be both, perhaps a witchy vampire or a vampire witch. But for the sake of not cheating too much, because I don't like to cheat in this or that type of questions, I will pick the one that I think benefits me as a aging young gal, and I would say a witch. I love a vampire. I love a good, creepy, demented vampire. None of the modern stuff, really, but just a good, creepy vampire of the old day and age, where the vampire was sadistic and a bloodsucker, just evil, with yet a dark and demented past. That monster of a man. That's a vampire I love. But a witch, oh my goodness, a witch. I love witches. I love the old vintage hag type of woman. I love the old idea of a witch just helping out all these people, doing all she can possibly do with hexes and spells and potions for others that she hardly has any time for herself. And that defines me to a perfect T. And just the whole isolation with her. She's just in her cabin or in a cave, just by herself with maybe a cat companion of some sort. Just alone. People come to me, I don't go to them. No matter how much you hate this woman could be a thorn in your side. You still find a way, whatever it may be, whatever reason you might need. You have to come to this woman. Despite your fear, despite all the stories the town folk have told of this woman, you still go to her for a curse of some sort, or to read your future perhaps, or to give you some sort of knowledge that you couldn't possibly find on your own. So people need her, yet they loathe her, and that is something that's really connected with me. Have always been connected, really. And, I don't know, just to be honest, I think a lot of people, have jumped on the old vampire bandwagon because of the whole immortality thing and just living forever and all of that jazz. But if you think about it, a witch can probably find a way to restore her youth with a potion of some sort. She could probably even find a way to live forever, because she is that knowledgeable in her stuff. So, I mean, it's a possibility that cannot be overseen by a small little snippet in people's idea of a witch. Nobody really knows what this woman is capable of, and I love that. I also love the whole aspect of her knowledge. She's just so freaking smart, and I'm attracted to smartness that you possibly cannot imagine. I love it. So a witch. Yes, a witch. Though if you would have told this to my teen, adolescent, young self, I probably would have said vampire without stuttering a syllable, only because I was in love with vampires for all the wrong reasons, really. The media really did make quite the fuss with these bloodsuckers, and I kinda fell victim of it too, really. Kind of just obsessed because everybody else was obsessed, and I could hardly make up my own mind. I was a weird kid. But, a funny story with that, I don't want to take too much more of your time, would be that when I was a child, I thought that perhaps since all the mortal men couldn't fancy me, for whatever reason that might be, that maybe, perhaps, this shunned creature, this hated and loathed creature that the vampire is, perhaps he would find a liking towards me. And I truly believed that the whole media idea of a vampire was real. I do believe vampires are real, but that is a whole different video. But the media's idea, the actual magical type of vampire that television shows and movies have shown to us, I thought that one was a true thing. And I would sleep with my window open on account of that count, and hope that one day he'd just come fluttering into my room and sweep me off my feet. The next question. What is my favorite thing about Halloween? I could go the route and say that I love everything. You know, the leaves and the candy and the looks and all that stuff, though that is a huge factor in my love for this beautiful holiday. Mine is a little bit more emotionally, spiritually. I'm a bit sensitive when it comes to sensory connections, like the senses, sights, smells, tastes, you know, that thing. Especially my sense of smell. I am sensitive to an extreme. I can connect a time and place and an emotion with the smell, like in an instant. And when it comes to Halloween, Though this is going to make me sound so creepy, more than I already am. But with Halloween, it gives me this scented memory where it connects like my childhood and all my memories and everything into this one huge twisting blob of emotions. And it's just so beautiful, and Halloween truly is magical if you think about it. It's just the one time of year that everything is just bliss. The leaves are turning colors and the witches are coming out. It's amazing. To me, it's like the scent of youth, if anything. And it's the scent of my youth, of my childhood, of how I once was and were and all that. And at the time, being a kid, I couldn't really, have this connection because I was young and I was experiencing for the very first time. And now that I'm an adult, I'm actually seeing it from a different viewpoint. I'm this adult and watching all these other kids do exactly the same things that I've done. At least I hope they are doing the same things I've done. So many traditions are being just shredded apart, and it's just so sad. At least when I was a kid, there was a lot of fun stuff that was Halloween oriented. And nowadays I've seen, especially in my little small neighborhood, not a lot of people are celebrating. Shame. Pity. What a pity. But, getting off topic. So when I was a child, I couldn't explain it as a kid. Because this was more of just a, feel good, you're doing what you're doing, you're having a blast, you don't care. Now that I'm getting older, I'm starting to reminisce and think. Using the old noggin up here to think. And it's just bringing out a lot of magical feelings. Another lovely reason would be that it's just the most amazing combination known to man. It is both fear and excitement. And I have yet to find another holiday that shares that same combination. Because with every other holiday, Christmas, Valentine's Day, you name it, it's always just one or the other. It's never just a combination of both. It's either you love it because you're with family and friends and loved ones, or you hate it for that reason. And I'm miserable beyond any doubt when Valentine's Day comes, because I'm alone and it's no one's fault but my own. But with Halloween, it's more just you're afraid of all, all the wise tales and the traditions and the stories you've heard when you were younger about certain scary situations. You're keeping festive and you're doing your traditions that you're supposed to be doing. And you hear all these lovely stories, about like the jack-o'-lanterns and the scarecrow and where they came to be and how they came to be and all that, and the soul cakes and all that beautiful, crazy stuff that happened and stuff. And that happened, back in the old times. And it's like gives you this level of fear, but then there's this sliver of excitement that just lets the fear be okay. It lets it be tolerable for that moment. And it's okay to be freaked out of your comfort zone, and it's okay to be laughed at and be a goofball and anything like that, because it is the season of fright, and it makes everything alright. And I just rhymed. Amazing. And the last but not least reason, I would say, would be that this is the only time of year that everyone finally gets along. I cannot tell you how many compliments I get every time it is almost close to Halloween, I get strangers complimenting my look and my attire, and I get people who normally hated me during the summertime come and tell me how amazing my application of makeup is. I get store clerks telling me how cool I look, and everyone's just so happy and giddy and smiley, and everyone's just so okay with you looking like a total train wreck. Because, you know, it is Halloween, it's going to be Halloween, so she's being festive. And it's sad really to think that way because, you know, you think to yourself, oh, you are accepting now. I wish you could be like this throughout the whole year, but, you know, people are people, so why should it be? Anyway, it's a sad state that we live in, where people are only accepting when a certain holiday approaches, but it is something that, despite the pros and cons, and mostly cons, I really wouldn't trade how it is if I could, because it gives those of us who do live this lifestyle, who do the crazier kind of alternative, weird side of life, it gives us something to look forward to. You know, it makes us feel that we are needed in some way, even if it's a negative way, but it lets us value our own worth in a way. And that to me it's really a beautiful thing, because if you think about it, if everything was hunky-dory and rainbows and butterflies and all that, but you know what I mean, if it was all happy all the time, everybody would be sick and tired of what we are and how we look. It would be so overdone that we would be just bored out of our skulls. We would be just crazy bored. And it would just ruin the value of the freakness. It really would. And I don't know about you guys, but I embrace that title. I love being said I'm a freak more than I love being told that I'm pretty. I'd rather be known as something disgusting and hideous and ugly than being told I'm beautiful, which is sad, but you know what? I have learned to deal with it, and I love it when people call me weird. People should learn that. Don't hide it. Don't hide from these crazy misconceptions and crazy name callings and all that. Do not let it faze you. Own up to it and live to it. It is, after all, a word that does not mean a thing unless you let it mean a thing. So just learn to relax and understand that even though it is a bad word, it could be turned around into a beautiful word. I love it. I am a freak. Damn straight I am. So yes, that is the reason I love Halloween, because of all those crazy stuff. Because of the fact that everybody gets along, everybody is happy, and everybody is as everybody was. Just a bunch of kids having fun. The next question is number 4. Halloween party or a scary movie marathon? Ooh. The introvert is telling me a scary movie marathon, because I'd be home and away from judging eyes. But then the hidden extrovert is telling me, a party, girl, go get your party on, 'cause you like to show off and be showed off, and it's a struggle for me. I love to stay home, but then I love to go out, and then I love to stay home. I mostly like to stay home, but I think a little bit of both. Not too much, not more one than the other, just a little bit of both, equally in moderation. Of course. So I would say maybe party, depending on the term party, because I know a lot of partying nowadays is being turned up and drinking till you pass out and banging any old Tom, Dick, and Harry that you find. I don't like that type of party, and I would skip it in a heartbeat. But, if it's the old type of actual Halloween party, like back in the day, where you're supposed to bob for apples and have costume contests and have just a nice, crazy old time, then yes, I will be there with bells and whistles on. I love that type of party. And I would be partying my little heart out and then go home. Put on a nice, do that lovely movie marathon and then pass the fuck out. So yes. Number 5, skeletons or zombies. And though both are extremely amazing, both are unique in their own right, I have and have always had a fascination with skeletons. I love skeletons. I own a lot of skeleton objects. From skulls, crossbones, just plain bones, rib bones, you name it. I have it. Almost. Almost a lot, but I have a lot of good stuff like that. Mostly because I've always loved that type of crazy stuff. Just think of it. It's a bag of bones being reanimated and dancing around. That is fascinating. The next question is, what is my favorite Halloween candy? I'm a sucker for any of the normal candy that you can grab on any given day that are in cute little festive Halloweenish themed things, like the little pumpkin Reese's and the orange Kit Kat and little miniature fun-sized bars. Oh, I love all that cute stuff. It's not so fun, and I wouldn't really say that is my utmost amazing type of candy. Though I will eat it. A crazy person. But, I would have to give a couple of my childhood favorites here again. Another listing, but you know what? It is my video, and I can if I want to. The first lovely candy, though I cannot eat too much of this because it makes me sick, would be candy corn. I love candy corn, especially the little ones with the pumpkins. I have to have candy corn in the house when it is Halloween, only because of the festiveness in it. Though it will probably remain in my ceramic skull bowl for weeks after, because nobody really likes them in my household that much. But it is Halloween, and I love Halloween stuff that is of Halloween themed. You know. Anyhow, the next candy that I love would have to be the little chocolate tin foil wrapped coins that you get. I used to get a lot of them in my childhood. Not so much anymore now. I haven't seen any being sold anywhere. But they're so cute. I used to love finding them and pretending I was a pirate with them and stuff. But they have little vintage pumpkins and skulls and stuff on it, and I loved them. I would never get the ones I really wanted, though. I used to be obsessed with the peanut butter filled ones or the solid milk chocolate. It was just always, I used to always get the crackle type, and let the record know that I'm not much of a crackle fan. The next one, of course, is one that I used to love a lot. Always brought a smile to my demented face every time I saw it. And it was the black and orange themed Halloween Mary Janes. I used to love finding them. I still love them so much. And then the last candy isn't necessarily a candy, it's more of a toy because you have to spit out the remains. And it's the candy vampire fangs. You know, it's like the Halloween version of the wax lips, but with fangs. I mean, what kid did you know growing up never got excited when they saw some wax vampire fangs? I was one of those kids who used to pop them on and scare a bunch of other kids with them, so it was always fun to find. So that is my candy selection. Number 7. What is my favorite Halloween movie? I gave you 3. I could go on and on with my obsessed love for certain Halloweenish like movies, but I'm not going to. This movie could be both a Christmas and a Halloween movie, but of course it is to be expected. I mean, this is probably coming to no surprise to you, but it's The Nightmare Before Christmas. It's watched on the 1st of October to Halloween. I watch it over and over again because I love it, and it must be watched. I mean, you are not celebrating Halloween until you pop that bad boy in and you watch it. You have to. You have to watch it. So yeah. The next video would be Hocus Pocus, without a shadow of a doubt. I love Hocus Pocus. I love Bette Midler. I just love witches. So yes, Hocus Pocus is another one. And then the last one, which was kind of hard for me to select out of all of them, I just decided to stick with my childhood favorites. Though of course, since time progressed and I got older, I kind of added more to my list of favorites. But I would have to pick this one because I loved it as a kid, and I still have a soft spot in my heart for the lovely little guy that is the main theme of the video, and it is Casper, the friendly ghost. It was the first movie that made me cry as a kid, 'cause Casper. Sad story with Casper. Of course, I can go on and on with movies, but I'm not going to because I don't want to. So yes. Number 8. My favorite costume. My favorite costume would be this one here. As you can tell. Ain't she pretty? Oh, you're so beautiful. She was my zombie walk costume that I wore a couple years back. The reason I mention her, because she's not Halloween related, I know, but zombie walk is in the same week as Halloween. I added her because she was a pain to create. It was all my blood, sweat, and tears just in this beautiful, beautiful costume that I could not possibly not mention her. She was my zombie geisha, and I was extremely proud, so very proud that I almost cried after the day was over, because all that work, then you're finally finished, everything's just like off you, no more stress. I cried a lot. Number 9. My favorite Halloween store. Of course, they're the traditional Spirit Halloween and Halloween City and all that. I'm not really fond of those because of the expensive price tags that a lot of the amazing trinkets have. And it always makes me cry, seeing that I cannot afford a single damn thing from the place. So, the places I usually shop for my goodies around this time of year would be thrift stores and Dollar Trees and dollar stores and our local Kmart. I know a lot of good stuff's in Walmart, but it's quite the distance away and I cannot get to it. Unless I want to take a bus, but who wants to take a public transport? Come on. No, nobody wants to. So I just stick to Kmart for all my necessary evils. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the stuff I find, if I find anything, which it's Halloween, so there should be stuff. So yes, those are my stores of sort. Number 10, jack-o'-lanterns, yes or no? And this is a big old fat yes, because jack-o'-lanterns is a must. It's a must. It's not a yes, it's a must. You are not celebrating Halloween until you carve or even paint anything with a jack-o'-lantern. You must grab your pumpkin, carve your pumpkin, or paint your pumpkin, and have it out on Halloween. I prefer the carving. It's a bit more festive for me, a bit more traditional. I carve it, and I light it, and I put it out on my porch. It flickers, it's amazing. And I usually have pumpkins all over the place because I'm quite obsessed. And yeah, so yes. Number 11, bats or black cats? It was so hard to pick one because both are my pride and joy. But I would have to say black cats because you can always put little bat wings on them and pretend they are bats. So, kind of a cheater there. Number 12. Is Halloween my favorite holiday? I'm not too sure. I mean, I like to think it is. Do you think it is? Of course it is. I mean, come on, look at me. I should be obsessed with it, and I am. Of course I am. And the last but not least, pumpkin spice latte or hot chocolate? I have not tried a pumpkin spice latte. Please, do not kill me. It's not my fault. I just live under a rock. But I've heard so much good stuff about it that it kind of makes me cringe inside, if you know what I mean. If I hear too much stuff about something, my first initial thought is to stay away. I don't know why. I know it's bad, but that's how I was for a lot of stuff until I kind of slowly try them on my own. Maybe that's just because I'm a rebel. But I don't like people, telling me what to do, I guess. But, I guess there's gotta be a reason why people all jump and love it, so maybe it is good. I've had coffee with the pumpkin spice before. I've had coffee with nutmeg and all that inside, and I really do like it and stuff, but I really have a soft spot for hot chocolate, and I love hot chocolate, and my gut wants me to say go with hot chocolate because you know you're going to regret not saying it. But then I guess my mother in my head is telling me to stay festive, and it only comes once a year, I am aware of, and since that is a factor, that kind of gives me a sort of a feeling, really, that it is traditional, it is festive, so I probably would go down that path and say pumpkin spice latte. Only because of the festiveness of it. Otherwise, I probably would go the other route and just jump into a hot mug of hot chocolate. But yeah, so those are all the questions, and that is the end of the video. We have run out of time, and that is that. It has been fun. I'm Hannabal Marie, if you have not known that already. And you can take the time to just gawk at my beautifulness. But yes, decided to get all spruced up with a nice stripy turtleneck for the sake of the video. Because it's, thank heavens, finally getting colder. It's finally autumn. I'm so freaking happy. And now I can finally layer my clothing like I normally love to do, and wear my full neck and long sleeve and jacket type things now, and the poshness of myself is very happy about that. And yes, I floofed up my hair, floofy, and curly the sides and the forehead, because I want to. But yes, thank you for watching. It was fun, and I hope to see you guys around. And if I don't, let's just have a kiss, why don't we?